Hi, Mosaic Kipsters, and welcome to another edition of the Mosaic Read Aloud with Mr. Presley. I'm Mr. Presley, your school principal, and I cannot wait, really cannot wait to meet each and every one of you in the next school year. This week, I'm super excited because we have a new book to share with you. It's this book right here called Windows by Julia Denos, illustrated by E.B. Goodale. Before we get to it, let's recap our last read aloud. The last time we were together, we talked about this book, The Steamboat School. Steamboat School, as you'll recall, was about a man named Reverend Meacham and his students. Here's one of his students there on the front holding that apple. And you remember Mr. Meacham and his students, they took action, one of our values, action. And they took action when racist laws shut down their school. Remember, it was like the middle of the 1800s, and the state of Missouri said that no Black people, whether they were free or enslaved at the time, could actually go to school. Now, Reverend Meacham had a school underneath his church. Remember, they used to have those candles so that they could actually see their books? Well, when the school got shut down, do you remember what their solution was? I'll give you a hint. It's in our title. You're right. They built a steamboat school. And every single day, while they weren't allowed to go to their regular school building, they showed so much courage. They took action. Remember this part at the end of the story here? I want to read it again because I think it's so special as we think about our value of action. Our main character says, I won't forget because now I know that being brave can sometimes be a small thing, like lighting a candle, opening a book, or dipping an oar into still deep water. An oar is what we call one of these pieces of wood right here that you use to move a boat across the water, which is why whenever we say we take action at Kip Mosaic, we act like we have an oar in our hand and we're dipping it into the water. We take action. Now, this week's book teaches us a little bit about another one of our values, and I'm going to tell you a little secret. It's one of Mr. Presley's favorite values. It's the value of curiosity. Now, curiosity is kind of a big word, but let me explain a little bit about it. Curiosity is the feeling that you get inside when you want to know more about something. Let me give you an example. Have you ever looked up at the moon at night, or maybe right before you go to bed, and wondered, why does the moon look bigger tonight than it did when I saw it last week? That feeling inside, that feeling in your mind, that's curiosity. I'll give you another example. Have you ever seen someone maybe at school or maybe in the grocery store and they seem just really, really sad? Maybe their head's down and they just don't seem like they're in a very good mood. Have you ever wondered, what happened to them? Why do they look so sad? That's being curious too. And as you'll learn at Kip Mosaic Primary, we say that we stay curious. And the friend that we're going to meet in our story, Windows, shows how even in small ways, we can stay curious all the time. What I love about this book, Windows, is that it reminds us that we can stay curious. We can use our minds even when we're not in our school building, even when we're doing something as simple as taking a walk around our home. So this is the question I want you to think about as we read today. How does our main character, and we'll call them the friend in the red jacket there, how do they stay curious during their walk? Just keep that question in our mind. How does the main character stay curious during their walk? And we'll come back to it at the end. So I give you Windows by Julia Denos, illustrated by E.B. Goodale. Do you know what illustrated means? Tell your friend who's next to you right now. What is an illustrator? That's right. The illustrator is the person who draws the pictures. So here we go. At the end of the day, before the town goes to sleep, you can look out your window. Let's take a second to look inside this window, inside of this room. What I love about this book are the illustrations. Do you notice down here, we've got a ball, a soccer ball, a rug, and looks like 2 pairs of shoes. I know that right there. Those are the colors of the flag of Brazil, a country in South America. So I wonder if this friend here really likes Brazil. Maybe his family's from Brazil. Did you hear that? I was being curious. I saw things, I had questions, and I asked them. I was being curious. and see more little windows lit up like eyes in the dusk, blinking awake as the lights turn on inside. A neighborhood of paper lanterns. So let's recap. We have our friend who's looking out his window and they decide to go for a walk. We're going to see all of the things they see as they walk around their neighborhood. You can take a walk out your door into the almost night. What do you see in this picture? You might pass a cat. Oh, wow, look at that cat across the street there. Or an early raccoon taking a bath in squares of yellow light. Now, wait a second. That doesn't make sense to me. Good readers, when they read something that they don't quite understand, they go back to the beginning of the sentence and they read it again. So when I read the raccoon was taking a bath in squares of yellow light, I thought, whoa, that doesn't make sense to me. So I'm going to go back and reread it. You might pass a cat or an early raccoon taking a bath in squares of yellow light. Now, that raccoon definitely isn't taking a bath with water like I take a bath. I wonder if the author is trying to say something about the light here, taking a bath in squares of yellow light. Maybe the light's all over them like water would be on a bath. That's an interesting way to say that. That was beautiful. Let's read it again. You might pass a cat or an early raccoon taking a bath in squares of yellow light. Cool. One window might be tall with the curtains drawn, or small with a party inside. Let's look at all the windows. Wow. Did you see the windows down by the street level? Looks like they're having a party in there. You know, this book reminds me how a lot of us have to stay inside right now to make sure that we're not getting sick and that we're staying really healthy. And I'm noticing a lot of these people are inside too, making a connection. Between two windows, there could be a phone used for good ideas. There might be a hug or a piano. And someone might be learning to dance. I see someone painting. Do you see someone painting? Point to the screen where you see someone painting. Yeah, you're right. It's up here. And another window could be dark with a sleeping plant or two. Or maybe bright and rounded like the moon. I'm noticing this author talks a lot about windows, which makes sense because the book is called Windows. You see that one? It looks bright and rounded like the moon. Some windows will have dinner or TV. Point to where you see someone watching TV in the window. Right there, me too. Others are empty and leave you to fill them up with stories. Now, this is an interesting house. I see the lights are off. Looks like the grass is really tall. They have a statue here. Looks like of the Virgin of Guadalupe. A sign that says, "Beware of dog." And the author says, others are empty. These windows are empty. And they leave you to fill them up with their stories. Tell yourself a story. What do you think is going on at this house? I wonder if the lights are empty because maybe the people are out of town or maybe they moved away. What do you think? Then you arrive home again and you look at your window from the outside. Point to the window where he lives. I see it right over here. Someone you love is waving at you and you can't wait to go in. So you do. The end. Wow. It's a really simple book, but very, very interesting. Our friend went all throughout his neighborhood and saw different windows and was wondering about what was going on in them. Saw many, many different things, which leads me to my Mosaic Read Aloud challenge. Right now, especially since we have to be in our home all the time, you might not be getting out very much. So I have an idea. Now, this is not an idea that you can do by yourself. You have to ask a family member or someone that you live with. Ask them, let's go for a walk near our house with someone in the family. I want you to stay curious. Ask questions. Say, I wonder. And then have your adult take a picture of yourself on that walk with something interesting that you find. Once they do, have them share that picture with us so that we can post it on our KIPP Mosaic Facebook page. You can text the pictures to the number you see up there, or you can email me at ryan.presley@kipptexas.org. When you send those pictures, make sure you put your name in there and what grade you're going to be in so we can start to get to know each other a little bit better. I hope that you enjoyed Windows. It's a really fun book. I'll see you next time for another Mosaic Read Aloud and a Read Aloud challenge.